right, so hi everybody. So my name is Sisi Wei. I work for Propublica. We are a nonprofit investigative news organization, and we are now in existence for 7 years, so that's exciting. But more specifically, I work on a team called the News Applications team. So this is my colleagues. And our job is many things, but one of which is to make these large, searchable, interactive databases that help the public somehow. And for some reason, when I give that definition, no one really knows what I'm talking about. So to give you guys an example, we'll see. Last week, we published an app called Surgeon Scorecard. So what that focuses on is 8 elective and routine procedures that are happening around the US thousands of times per day. But the app, for the first time, allows you to look up a specific surgeon and see his or her complication rates on those procedures. Right? So it's a large, searchable database that is somewhat useful to the public. All right. So when it comes to using technology then, right, to re-engage the public on things like elections or civic involvement, as a journalist, the way I like to think about it is how do we use technology, or maybe the apps that we make, to enable people to really care about these things and to act on them. So I'm going to show you guys 3 apps. 2 of them we did for the 2012 presidential election, and then all 3 are going to have a very strong community building engagement aspect. And then I'll sort of talk about the lessons that we took away from those things. So the first project is called Message Machine. Jeff Larson and Al Shah, who created the project, wanted to answer the question about microtargeting, right? Were people who were receiving presidential campaign emails being targeted based on sex, age, location, or any specific factors? And to find this out, we had to ask the public for help, right? We needed to know who you were, your demographic info, and then what emails were you getting. So at that point in time, if you were getting emails from campaigns, we wanted you to forward us a copy, and then you could fill out a demographic survey, and we would begin to sort of match that information. So in the 4 months before the election, we got about 43,000 campaign emails forwarded to us from various different presidential campaigns, from about 665 readers. And out of those readers, 600 of them actually gave us their demographic information, so that's a huge amount. And then 550 were people who were repeatedly forwarding emails to us, so we could actually track which ones they were getting. So numbers-wise, that's not bad, but the largest sort of findings that we found are probably not that surprising. So the first one is, if you've donated in the past, you're more likely to get asked for a different amount of money in the future, right? But then also, if you live in a swing state, you're more likely to get different emails or additional emails. All right, so during that same time period, we did another project. It's called Free the Files. So in early 2012, if you wanted to know how much candidates, campaigns, super PACs were paying for TV ad spots, you had to physically walk down to that TV station and then ask them for their records. It's probably in the basement. You can't take it out of the TV station, make your own copies, and then you're the only one who has that data. So we couldn't visit every TV station in the country, so we asked again the public to help us, and to my amazement, 300 people actually signed up to go do that, right, like physically. But in the end, that turned out to be only phase 1, because August of that election year, there was an FCC order earlier in the year ordering stations to actually put this data on the internet where it would be more useful, and they did, but they did it in PDFs. And they did it in all different kinds of PDFs. The contracts looked different, some were handwritten, and so we couldn't teach a computer to read it. So then, phase 2, Free the Files, help ProPublica read PDFs. Doesn't that sound like the most enticing thing we could ask readers to do? So we did a few things, right, to help that out. First one is let you create an account, right? So you could track how many files you were freeing, get recognized on our leaderboards, but then also we let you focus. So this is what readers saw, right? All you get is the PDF and the questions we want you to answer, no ads, no related content. It's just this. You hit submit and you get the next one. But in case you're not interested in just that, you could also pick one of the 33 swing markets, right? So I only want to do files from Las Vegas because I live there, or I care about the people who live there. This actually prompted people to have Free the Files parties. So it's easy, it's important for democracy, and there's pizza. I don't know how it gets better than that, right? All right. So what you're seeing on the left here, too, is that we made a Facebook group for the project. So if you volunteer to do something with us, you can also connect with the other people who are volunteers. That way we got a lot of good feedback, but also, you know, they could host parties. All right, so in the end, we had about 1,000 people who helped. They freed nearly 18,000 files, and we got over $1 billion of ad buys logged digitally. All right, so that's now the last project, Surgeon Scorecard. I'd mentioned this project at the beginning. If you want to know more about the app specifically, please ask me afterward. But I bring this app up because it's sort of our latest development in a long series we've been doing on patient safety. And what's really key to sort of this audience is the community that we've been building that drives all of the reporting here. So the first thing, and you may notice a pattern, is that we have a Facebook group, right? So this group is for people who feel like they have been harmed while receiving care, or maybe they know someone who has, or they're really passionate about the issue. And there's nearly about 300 people. They actively post multiple times per day. They talk to each other. And what's really interesting is, right, for us, it's maybe a place to get sources, maybe a place to share our journalism. But what's incredible is that for the members who have joined, it's become a real community. It's almost like they've taken it as their own. It's a place for them to lean on each other. People are constantly sharing advice because they went through the same things. So hand in hand with this group, we also want to know, tell Propublica directly, right? If you think you've been harmed, what exactly happened? So this is our patient harm questionnaire. I just want everybody to appreciate how long and tedious it looks for a moment. In fact, that fourth screenshot on the right is not the end. There are 2 more screenshots that I took that I could not fit onto this slide. But people are filling it out. In fact, we're up to, I think, 950 people now, which is pretty great. And we've interviewed the subjects. We pair them up with local reporters sometimes. And we're going to do some awesome stuff in the future. Can't tell you about it. But both the Facebook group and the questionnaire together, right, represent sort of a community that now exists that we can tap into, but sort of they live on their own because we sort of invested in it all of these years. All right, so after all of that, what did we learn about using our apps, using our technology to actually engage people? So number 1 is you have to enable the public to actually act specifically on the part they care about. So in Message Machine, right, you're already getting campaign emails, which means you probably care about that campaign. In Free the Files, we let you pick specific markets instead of just giving you a random file from anywhere in the United States. Number 2, make that participation easy, right? In Message Machine, just click forward on your email inbox. We don't even need you to come to our website to send it to us. And in Free the Files, of course, no distractions, just like loop through these one at a time. You came to this website, you know what you got into. All right. Number 3 is give instant feedback. So in Free the Files, this is really important. Some of you guys remember a map on the homepage of the app. We were giving people live updates, right? So if you and your friends just spent 5 hours going through Las Vegas files, that would get immediately reflected in the app. And you would see 90% completed, something like that. And then finally, build a community where volunteers have access to each other, right? So the parties are a great example, but for the patient safety Facebook group, I think the members there really do feel like they're part of their own community, but also because we moderate it, we have access to a very engaged, very specific group of readers. And that's really just fueled our journalism in that area. And that's it. So thank you very much. Feel free to contact me on Facebook or on Twitter or email.